13 hours after he announced he would be arrested, former President Trump is still a free man. New York City, where the grand jury won't meet until next week. So here is the possible indicting waiting game continuing from the courthouse. Next week, they might vote. They might not vote on whether to indict President Trump. Meantime, he stays down in Florida. You saw live pictures of the airport. Prosecutors accuse him of using campaign dollars for hush money payments to an adult film star 7 years ago. A new YouGov poll shows 46% of Americans support charges broken down by party. Only 14% of Republicans are in favor, 77% of Democrats. The key group here, independents. Only half support charges. Tom Dupree is on indictment watch with us, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under George W. Bush. And famed constitutional law attorney. Good to see you as always, sir. And I always appreciate your ability to be nonpartisan in this analysis. As we've seen this play out, and Alvin Bragg now not go back to the grand jury, might call Michael Cohen once again to the grand jury. Is there any other way to read this than Bragg is trying to either slow walk it or find an off-ramp?
Yeah, I think there are a few ways you could read this here, Leland. And look, the fact is that grand juries work in mysterious ways, and we can't know for certain what goes on behind the scenes. There's one possible scenario in which the delay is just because a grand juror was sick or they wanted to present a witness and, he got in a car accident on the way to the courthouse and they had to postpone. So we can't be sure. But at the same time, it is peculiar to me as an outsider watching this process unfold that the DA was clearly ready to move at the beginning of this past week or this week, and yet he hasn't. Why not? We don't know. We do know that they had called in some final rebuttal witnesses. They had Rob Costello come in. They were poised to call Michael Cohen back for one final try. They didn't. But it appears that they're at the end of the process. And it is a little bit of a mystery. And I start to wonder if the DA has, in fact, gotten cold feet on this whole prosecution.
Yeah, this is interesting from Rolling Stone, hardly a conservative news organization. Many top NYC attorneys loathe Trump, no surprise there, but don't like Bragg's chances. Quote, this case is a joke. Legally, it's a weak case, a strange way to get an indictment. And these are quotes that are on the record.
Yes, and that is the thing that is particularly puzzling about this whole situation is that the case that Bragg appears ready to prosecute is a very weak case. I would say it's far and away the weakest of all the potential prosecutions swirling around former President Trump. For one thing, Bragg has got an attenuated and difficult legal theory, one that has never been accepted in this context by the New York courts. The other problem he's got is his star witness is Michael Cohen. If I were in Bragg's shoes, I would do my best, if you're going to prosecute, to make this a case about evidence, about documents, about things like that, rather than place your whole fortune on the truth of Michael Cohen.
Well, this is a guy his truth, since everybody seems to be able to have a truth these days, Michael Cohen's truth has changed a number of times, right? And he has had a very difficult time with the truth. Speaking of documents, the right in particular has been making a lot of a letter from Michael Cohen, what you might call contemporaneous evidence, about how he viewed the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. This is a letter from 2018. Bill O'Reilly last night on Cuomo read a portion of it. Take a listen.
And the letter goes on to say that Mr. Cohen, according to his attorney, Stephen Ryan, used his own funds to pay Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels, and the Trump campaign, and Donald Trump himself had nothing to do with it.
Can you get anything more exculpatory or more impeaching of Michael Cohen than that?
Right. And that's the thing here, Leland, is that if you are a defense lawyer, you are going to have a field day holding up these letters and other contradictory items of evidence in a way basically to discredit his entire story. If I were a defense lawyer, that's the first thing I would say. I would say that the prosecution has rested its case on a man that you cannot trust, who has told different things to different audiences over time, who has himself served time in prison. And all you have to do is stir up enough doubt such that the jury cannot convict beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the highest standard known in American law, and that's how I would defend this case if I were on the Trump law team.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.